Happy Friday, everybody. I love saying those words. And effective last week, every Friday is happy hour, which means the professor, Armando Lara, is joining us. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. It's Friday. Time to have
Friday.
A nice
I don't know what we're going to
beverage.
talk about. There's nothing new that's come down the wire in terms of the Warriors. I mean, it's nothing. So we'll figure out. I'm kidding, of course. There was a PR campaign today spearheaded by Jonathan Kuminga's agent, Aaron Turner. And again, I boast repeatedly that if you're part of this audience, especially if you're a Golden Days or you're routinely checking us out, most of what was learned, most of what was revealed today was not necessarily a revelation for this program, but the rest of the fan base is now catching up. And again, if you don't mind spreading the word that you don't have to miss out. We're here all the time. It's practically a daily program. It will be once the season's back in full steam. We're here to inform. We're here to entertain and have a good time. Armando, are you ready to break down the latest with these ridiculous negotiations that are now 12 days away from training camp? It's 11. It's a week from Monday. That's when training camp starts. It's got to end by then, I think.
I'm ready, man. I got my notes lined up. I'm ready. I got full. I got new ways to describe old ideas.
Let's get into it. If there's any good news, by the way, any incentive to root for Kuminga being signed by the time training camp starts, we will have Kuminga on the show if he's signed. That's a huge one because I'm going to be at Media Day, and I've already confirmed with his people that we will sit down for at least a few minutes and have a discussion while I'm there. Let's hope that happens, because if Kuminga is not signed by the time training camp starts, that's not happening, and I'll have to track him down at a later date. But more importantly, I think we want Kuminga on board so we can get the rest of the transactions. We can find out what this team's all about. We can actually have shows discussing lineups, discussing basketball, not discussing contract negotiations. This is exhausting. I cannot believe it's gotten this far. And Kuminga's agent had a lot to say today on various shows. Let's break it down. You ready?
Let's do it.
This is the Golden Days.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. Leave me alone this summer.
Let's go. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
Happy Friday. We are rolling. Do it! Welcome to the Golden Days, brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of the Believe Network and our program Golden Days. And we'll share some good, some interesting lines that the sportsbook has presented to the audience in a brief moment. But I want to get things started right away with the professor, with Sprewell Was Right columnist Armando Lara, who joins us every Friday for happy hour. The side note, if you notice the thumbnail with a random cup of beer in the middle of it, I fixed that. Inside joke. Again, if you haven't noticed that, please disregard. Nonetheless, you can follow Armando Lara on threads at Mando_man10. His columns available on Substack. His classes are available at UC Berkeley, and his opinions are available right here every Friday. Start time in the 3 to 5 range. It depends. Armando, great to see you, man. Before we talk about the Kuminga storyline and Aaron Turner and all the things he said, again, most of which we've already covered. There's not much new there. How the hell are you doing? Let's check in with you first. You doing good? You ready for the weekend? Any big plans?
Nah, man, just chilling. Oh, you know what we're gonna do this weekend? There's a big car show in San Francisco.
Hey now. Okay.
We're gonna go.
All right.
Take the old car out there.
Where in the city?
Lowriders, right in the Mission. First time ever. There's going to be a big parade right on 24th Street. It's going to be a good time. Thousands of people. You guys should come out.
Does the Mission still have a semblance of its old self, meaning like middle class, meaning like a Latin spirit, if you will? Like, is the culture still there, or has the Mission been destroyed like the rest of San Francisco with AKA gentrification? Oh, you froze on me. That question literally froze the professor. It just stopped him in his place. And the fact that he's not answering me tells me that the mission's dead. Oh no. Steve Wilton in the chat's asking, is the car show in the Mission better than the one in Pleasanton. I don't know where the one in Pleasanton is, but if you want to follow up and enlighten us. Oh, we got Armando back. Are you with us now?
Yeah, sorry. Did my internet might have crapped out. Sorry.
Yeah, you froze on us for a good 30 seconds. It's okay. We got you back. It's all good. So let's get into this. Let's just get right into it. Aaron Turner did a PR campaign, scheduled a series of interviews that all happened, took place at a gym, which I believe is part of his compound. Aaron Turner's agency, what are they called? I think Versus. I can't remember the name of his sports agency, but they're headquartered in Ohio. That's why Jonathan Kuminga has been there all summer. And he did all these interviews on his computer in the gym. Kuminga actually popped in for one of the interviews. I think this was on 95.7 The Game, the flagship radio station of the Golden State Warriors. He also did a hit with Brian Windhorst of ESPN, the Hoops Collective. I think he did a hit with Anthony Slater as well. He's basically doing a PR tour with all of the shows that until this moment, I think had a Kerr slant, had a pro Kerr bias, if you will, in terms of the coverage. Like every one of these programs, I don't think were necessarily telling the world Kuminga's side of things. This was a very pro Kerr audience, if you will. And he just did a bunch of shows. I think he still had one more with NBC Sports Bay Area. I don't think it's a coincidence. He stuck to the legacy media organizations for these interviews. Nonetheless, there were some nuggets revealed. There were two things in particular that stuck out to me from this whole tour. But what stuck out from you? And we'll play some sound as well. But Armando, did anything stick out to you that was noteworthy, that was interesting, that you didn't know before? Your thoughts, sir?
I think honestly, what's notable about it, and I do think it's very notable. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors' master PR staff drops some kind of hit, a counterpunch tomorrow or something like that. Like, it's coming. And you might even see Kerr make an appearance. Do not look past that. But to me, what was notable, Sai, is like the stuff that we've been talking about on Golden Days for years. That's the first time that like 70% of the fan base actually heard it.
Yeah,
Heard like, hey, there's like 4 years of context into why you need to give Kuminga a backload on this deal in order to make this championship work. He is a win now player. It's proven, as we've been talking about it. I literally like stood up and I was like, oh my God, somebody actually mentioned that they won a majority of the games with Jonathan Kuminga playing 25 minutes a game alongside Steph Curry, and they made the playoffs on national media on ESPN. Someone actually said that. I was like, dude, where are we? What world did I wake up to, man? That's what was notable to me.
Well, and here let's just get right into it. In terms of what was revealed in these various interviews. Like you said, I think what you're referring to specifically is on one of the shows, I have no idea which one, but Aaron Turner highlighted the fact that contrary to the narrative being presented out there in regards to Steph playing with Kuminga, they actually do present a winning brand of basketball when they're on the court together. It is one of the more asinine takes to me that Stephen Curry and Jonathan Kuminga can't play together. Says who? Like, Stephen Curry can play with anybody. And again, that was a narrative that was out there from the Kuminga haters. And there's quite a few of you that for whatever reason, Steph struggles when Kuminga's out there. Bull effing shit on that claim. Not true at all. Aaron Turner presented some stats to back that up. There were two things that stuck out to me. Again, that was new in terms of information that I got out of this. And I'd love to get any specifics that you got as well. And again, we'll play one sound clip that stuck out to me from Mr. Turner. Again, he's Jonathan Kuminga's agent. The first is, speaking of Stephen Curry, we've reported on this show that Jonathan Kuminga has had Draymond Green support behind the scenes. We reported on this show that Jonathan Kuminga also had Jimmy Butler's support behind the scenes. The Jimmy Butler part of this was I think particularly emphasized in terms of an individual who has JK's back, who understands the talent, who understands that contrary to Steve Kerr not feeling he was a good fit last year, and the fans, of course, immediately just towing in line behind every one of Steve Kerr's words, with it's basically not having an iota of independent thought in the process. But nonetheless, the Stephen Curry part of it was a bit of a mystery. Stephen Curry did say publicly last season, especially about a month ago before the year, he went out of his way, unsolicited, to give Kuminga defense and try to ask the fan base not to pile on him, not to focus on every single individual possession. Like, don't focus on one possession where he might look like he wasn't entirely focused, and pretend that is a representative sample of his overall body of work. Asinine. And so Steph went out of his way to defend him once. This is near the end of the season. But outside of that, I did not know really how Steph felt, where Steph stood on the JK position until today, unless Aaron Turner's lying, and who knows, that's always a possibility as well, but I haven't seen any pushback either. Aaron Turner came out and said that on top of Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, that Steph has also been reaching out to Kuminga this offseason, that Steph values Kuminga. And I thought that was an awesome thing to hear, because that basically squashes yet another narrative that's entirely negative pertaining to Kuminga, which is that the veterans are bought in, that the veterans don't want Kuminga on the team. Bullshit. They do. They like the kid. They understand what he brings. Kuminga himself is also, or his representation, Aaron Turner, coming out, telling the public, repeating the message he sent to the Warriors, that Kuminga's willing to buy in, contrary to a situation like the Kings, where BJ Armstrong, their assistant GM, told Aaron Turner and Jonathan Kuminga that if Kuminga was on their team, he would have carte blanche freedom in terms of playing style, in terms of restrictions that he routinely deals with the Warriors. And despite having other options out there where his potential could be maximized with the Warriors, he has to basically fit into a role. Like, there's a peg designed for him that he needs to slot himself into, as long as he's playing for Steve Kerr. And he came out today and said, look, you give us this contract, and the contract more specifically is 3 years, 80 or 78 million. I'm not brain farting on that exact number, but it's in that range. 3 years, approximately 80 million. Let's just say that if that third year is no longer a team option, Kuminga's bought in. He's on board. He'll play the role. He'll be happy. He just wants to get paid. I can understand why he wants to get paid. And Steph, Dre, and Jimmy have his back. I thought that was huge. What was your reaction to that? And cheers as well. Yeah.
Dude. So I think you're totally bringing up that was dropped. And I think earlier in the week, it was leaked that Jimmy Butler actually checked in with the front office, like, hey, what's the plan here? I think was the direct. I saw that. But you know what was notable about it today? There was a moment on the Wendy podcast where Wendy spent 5 minutes talking about, like, nobody's really the bad guy here. Everyone's just doing good business. The Warriors are doing good business, and you, Aaron Turner, are doing good business. I'm here to tell you, the Steph, Draymond, Jimmy Butler reaching out to him, like, what's, trying to figure out what's going on, and the both sides, it ain't just them. So it's actually, I'm going to connect this. It's actually bad business. And Warriors fans need to get it right, that this is not light years. The Warriors are actually doing bad business. So think about this. Anybody, like, in the chat, do you guys work for talent industries? Like, into sectors where the talent is what matters? Like, you don't, they kept talking about squeeze on that. Aaron Turner's talking about, like, he compared JK to a Ferrari. Like, yeah. And I loved his analogy. It actually, I was like, damn, I wish I would have, like, figured that out. Like, he's saying, it's an emergency. I need to sell my Ferrari right now, and for a little bit less. And on Monday, he said you could sell it for $150,000, but I'll take it, right now for $80,000. And then it's like the person going back to you, well, I'm just going to take it for $10. It's like squeezing you because you are, like, out of options. That's what JK's in. That's what the Warriors are doing, was the implication. Do you think every agent in the league and every future player that might come to the Warriors isn't looking at this situation about the Warriors squeezing their talent That's happening, fan base, to you. Do you know every year when the drafts come, there's rumors, and it's legit, that draftees try to get to certain teams. Like every year it happens. Like, I don't want to play for that team. I want to play for
Ace
this
Bailey
team.
was the perfect example of that this past draft, right?
So we're about to get into a rebuilding phase, Warriors fans.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the next time there's an athletic wing with high upside, do you think they're going to want to come play with the Warriors? The kind of players that are going to be drafted are going to be unathletic 24-year-old guys that are maxed out with their potential already and might, floppy hair type stuff. So like it's bad business. You do not squeeze talent in the NBA. Like,
correct.
Wendy had it totally wrong.
And Aaron Turner said as such. I actually have a clip here queued up that it goes right into what you're talking about in regard, and this is more specifically referencing the qualifying offer, which Aaron Turner did not hesitate to bring up in every interview he did. I think that's the core message here that Aaron Turner has been pushing with all these interviews, is he's sending a very loud message to the Warriors brass. Don't put us in a situation where we're going to take that qualifying offer, right? And he said as such, and this is the clip that highlights that. It highlights what you said about not wanting to have a disgruntled employee on your team. Like, it's bad business doing the qualifying offer. And the Warriors have the resources to give Kuminga the contract he wants. It's not going to hurt them at all this upcoming season. And let's hear from Aaron Turner in regards to that specific topic that we're discussing here, the qualifying offer, and how foolish of a move it would be to let it get to that point. Here is Jonathan Kuminga's agent, Aaron Turner.
It's not something that can't get fixed. I mean, I don't think that's good for any team building. I mean, just think about it. I mean, you got a guy in an expiring contract who hasn't been paid life-changing money yet. He's not going to be happy about it. He's going to fill away. Will he come in ready to play? For sure. Like, he wants to hoop, right? So, like, he's not going to not come in with, like, I want to play. But, again, like, I have people that work for me. I think about their psychology when we're trying to achieve an overall goal. I don't want somebody's subconscious not being locked in on the overall goal of the group. And that's why if you look at it, you listen to a lot of GMs, presidents of teams, a lot of times they'll talk about, if we're trying to win, can't have guys on expirings, especially guys that are, trying to prove something or get paid. So I think, naturally, where's JK's mind going to be, even if he comes in, I got to get to the summer of 26, right? And as his agent, I got to protect him to a degree to make sure we get to the age of summer of 26 healthy. I have zero worries about the basketball. If people are trying to scare us about the basketball, comparing him to XYZ, I am not worried about that at all. Okay. I'm on record saying that I'm not worried about that. The biggest thing is he needs to get to the summer. I mean, that's just the reality if you're on the QO. And I think that would be for every single player in the NBA. I don't think that makes JK any type of person. And I think, anybody who's had any job anywhere would understand that. And I think, I think, and this is what I've said, like, if he is this important, okay, if he is this essential, that he's held up the whole offseason from officially signing guys, I would say you need that guy bought in. Okay, now I get he might go out, but the first 45 games, you need him in a good headspace, right? If he's not that important, why is the whole offseason moving like this? He clearly is. I mean, that's the answer to the question. He clearly is that important. Now, again, that might just mean because he's going out, but that's why this pattern has become kind of like so unique and interesting. And I said to Brian Windhurst yesterday, like, tell me when you've ever seen a player at 20 plus million sign a deal going, this doesn't make much sense for me from a perfect basketball fit. And by the way, I may get traded right at the deadline. At that number, I've never seen that. I've seen, mid-level guys or at the most, but minimums that happens, but are smaller deals, but not at like the $20, $25 million level where you're going, I'm going to a place where, the last point where we ended with Steve was, I can't play this guy big minutes with what I have. Now, I don't think that can't evolve or can't change, but that's where we are right now until we see differently. That's got to be the worst sales pitch to a $20+ million free agent in the history of basketball, in all seriousness. So again, though, that's okay. It's okay. We understand it was a small sample size. It's not something that can't get fixed.
And we'll leave it there. That was courtesy of 95.7 The Game. That's where that clip came from. Again, the flagship station of the Warriors. Armando, I feel like everything he said there is what we've been repeating like a broken record, simply because it's the logic. He's bringing logic to a very nonsensical situation in terms of how the Warriors are treating this kid. What was your reaction to that clip?
Dude, I mean, he laid out, it's a thing that their perspective is 24 million is on the cheap, and they're right. Like he's like, we acknowledge that the market is constrained this summer, and the Warriors have us by the balls because of the way they've set up the situation. And they're saying, okay, our market value is much higher than 24. Like, we're looking at 30 plus if we hit the open market. They're like, we know that because we've talked to teams. You got to keep in mind, rules prevent Kuminga from talking to other teams unless he's a free agent. This is his first time that he's ever been allowed to speak to other general managers about possibilities. And so he knows what they're talking about. And so for him to be like, okay, I'm going to accept this pay cut, and I'm going to accept this situation with Steve Kerr that I could be benched at any minute. I could play well. And Aaron Turner literally said this, if it doesn't feel right to the coach, he's not going to play. It'll change it any different night. That he for him to accept not having the ball in his hands, to commit, what he's already proven to do, which is pass the ball to Steph Curry and play defense. That if he's going to do that, then help me out on the back end.
Yeah.
This is what I need to be happy. I'm telling you, it's plain as day. This is a number that allows the Warriors to say under the second apron. It does not threaten that. It's all the numbers are worked out. They'll still be able to overpay for a 39-year-old center that no other wants to do that. And they'll still be able to sign a injury-prone guard that the coach is going to play at small forward. And they'll still be able to do all those things, overpay for players that nobody else wants. And it's all JK is like, this makes sense. And this is the first time that narrative's been out there. And I'm telling you, the Warriors are not going to go quietly into the night. The PR staff, the highly paid elite PR staff that has the entire Bay Area media by the balls, is going to be in overdrive tonight. Next week or tomorrow, we're going to wake up to Steve Kerr on some drinking a beer with a dog on some college teammates podcast, and they're going to be talking about, I know how to win and I know who player. Hey, shut up with that loser ball.
And when you say the PR staff, I always look more specifically to Kerr himself. Raymond Ritter is a class act, and look, he's obviously going to be focusing on a pro Warriors message getting out there. But I also know Ritter very closely on a personal level, and he is not a punitive individual. He's actually very open-minded, and he works with media. I until Steve Kerr got here and through his, started stirring the pot with his own hand, I never saw behavior like this. This is largely, to me, Armando, and look, this is just my opinion based off my experiences. This is largely a local media conglomerate. I don't know if conglomerate's the right word, but you get what I'm trying to say here. A bunch of local media members who got too close with Steve Kerr. And that's supposed to be like one of the core tenets of being a journalist, of being a media member. Do not develop close relationships with your sources. Do not let emotions become a part of your relationship with the very subject you're supposed to cover. Yet every one of these guys, they've got him buddy chummy with Steve Kerr. And again, props to Kerr, who is a savant at this when it comes to the media game, for making all these individuals feel special, for knowing all these individuals on a first name basis. They love him. And that's not how you should be feeling if you're media. You're supposed to be impartial. The moment you start fawning over the head coach, all of your objectivity is out the window. Yet, unfortunately, that's 90% of our local media. They were there while the Warriors were winning these 4 championships. I guarantee Steve Kerr made them feel like they're practically part of the team through those 4 championships. They got all buddy. They get all chummy. So then when it comes time to actually, produce some legitimate analysis and present some objective coverage, we're getting none of that. And it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Like Steve Kerr has always been a PR guy, not a basketball guy. From the Chicago days, they literally moved the 3-point line in so Steve Kerr could be in the league. Okay, but dude, did you guys see the Clippers hit piece that they put out on Kawhi Leonard this week? It was like leak after leak about how the whole organization's scared of Kawhi. And I'm bringing that up because there was a paragraph in that thing where the Clippers announcer Sean Elliott or somebody got fired because they said the wrong thing about Kawhi Leonard. There is no doubt in my mind that what the Warriors fans listen to on there's a set narrative that is they're only allowed to speak, which is Podziemski's hustling. Do not mention when Podziemski gets blown up by the offense and cannot be on the court defensively. And then anytime JK does something good, you need to mention that he should be doing that more often. So how many times do we hear, if only JK could just rebound like that more often? I mean, if you're saying that every game, I don't get it. If he could only just shoot threes like that every time, it's like a backhanded compliments 101. Never mention coaching decisions ever. And it's like it's access journalism.
Yeah.
All of these Bay Area, it's just 100% access journalism. Tim Kawakami has got a book deal. I'm telling you, it's going to be a nice puff piece coming out about Steve Kerr.
Absolutely. And again, we've talked about this on the show before, the fact that Marcus Thompson, who's very popular as a local journalist, but look, bravo to him for having a phenomenal source in Stephen Curry to get him to trust you. You've achieved success with the book and the columns and so forth. But him and I got into a heated back and forth back in well over 10 years ago because I called him out. I'm like, and this was around the time I was in grad school and my entire my thesis, a huge part of my master's thesis in a research-based institution, Aztecs for Life, San Diego State University, was basically coming to a conclusion that sports journalism as a concept is practically impossible to actually practice because of the dependency that every one of these individuals have on the entity they're supposed to cover. Cheers. And case in point with Marcus, Marcus is like, oh no, come on, man, journalism exists. Like, bullshit, dude. You like most of what you write is, first of all, he was a columnist. He wasn't a beat reporter. So everything he was writing was editorialized to begin with. It was subjective. So I was like, dude, you're not a journalist, clearly. Like, you're just writing opinions, and most of them are fluff pieces. And then you fast forward to 2017-18 when Stephen Curry cracked a joke about the trans community, and Marcus Thompson writes that in a story that gets taken down a day later by The Athletic with no explanation. They just censored it and pretended and that it never existed. You're right. You're absolutely right, Armando, that there is really very little true journalism in sports, largely because they just can't do it. They're afraid of punitive measures from the teams, although they shouldn't be afraid of that, because if you're credentialed and they just decide to pull it because they don't like the coverage, you could sue the ever-living shit out of them. And that's largely why teams are a little hesitant to be overly rigid in that regard. Because again, First Amendment rights, an individual can bring up the fact that, that decision will cost them their livelihood. It's not a court case that I think teams want to get themselves involved in. So, but with that said, I mean, I don't think any reporter wants to put them, dip their toes in hot water like that either, and test the limits of a team. There's a fine line to that. I want to also add in the chat here, AC brings up Ethan Strauss and said that's why Ethan Strauss had to leave. He wasn't just a sycophant. Wrong. Ethan Strauss left because ESPN let him go, and he was lucky enough to have a Substack column. I mean, look, ESPN lets people go on a regular basis, and it wasn't like he got fired. I think it was like a layoff. And congrats to Ethan for having a Substack, but at the same time, and Ethan Strauss was, I think, most infamously known for Kevin Durant calling him out publicly a few years back. But dude, Ethan Strauss is a hack. I'm going to be very, very straight with all of you here. If you're relying on Ethan Strauss for your Warriors analysis, good luck with that too. That San Diego native is not around the Warriors, hasn't been around the Warriors in at least 5 years. And some of the stuff I read from him is asinine stuff pertaining to the Warriors. I digress. The point is, he did not leave because he wasn't a sycophant. Connor Letourneau is a great example, my dear friend, of someone who was covering the Warriors objectively, did not buy into the Steve Kerr PR charm, and Kerr practically hated him for that. Basically, and that's how Steve Kerr rolls. If you're not with him, you're pretty much against him. And Connor graduated to news reporting. That's why he no longer covers the team. But yeah, it's a tough business, man. It's a lot of ego managing. It's a lot of politics you got to play. It's crazy, man. It really is. But the coverage of the Warriors by this local media is embarrassing, dude. I call them out repeatedly for very good reason, because unlike me, who has to literally earn every check with this show, I don't have anyone paying me. These guys get paychecks. These guys have people literally writing checks for them, and what they're producing with that money is just a bunch of fluff that's pro Kerr, that's pro Warriors, that's focusing more on what the fans want versus objectivity. And someone in the chat who I highlighted, I think Bay Area was the handle, writing, I wish the media here was more like New York or Philly. I agree, man. That is the approach I bring. I'm there's no filter here when it comes to the truth. If Steve Kerr's messing something up, we're going to call him out for it. Dude makes nearly $20 million a year as the head coach of the Warriors. That's what we're supposed to do as the media. Hold truth to power. And it's very sad we're one of the only ones doing that. But I digress. Like Desiree, for example, writes, I will never understand the villainization of Steve Kerr on this show. Villainization is a very strong word. I'm not taking personal shots at him. I never once bring up politics or anything like that. It's strictly his decisions as the guy calling the shots for a professional basketball team. And I don't think he's doing a great job recently, man. Like, and so Desiree, who's been on the show and he's always respectful, and I love the takes he brings in, but Des, like, you seriously would rather us be sycophants like everyone else and just pretend Steve Kerr's like the genius who's infallible, and you want me to be deferential to him? Like, I'm not villainizing him, but as someone who is calling the shots, who has the power in the dynamic of professional basketball, why should I not call him out? Like, why do you want me to just pretend he's fine, man? He has made a lot of mistakes the last 3-4 years, a lot. And it's capitulated to this current Jonathan Kuminga situation. This situation would not exist if Steve Kerr simply played the kid like a sensible coach would have. The fact that Kuminga is 18th in his draft class in minutes per game, it's embarrassing. The fact that Kuminga is in this position and the Warriors are in this position, it's embarrassing. So I will call him out as long as he does dumb shit. If Steve Kerr does good shit, if he's making sensible decisions, we don't call him out. I'm not going out of my way to criticize him. So, and on that note, I want to play this other clip, speaking of media, because Ramona Shelburne, to me, has been fantastic in her coverage of the Warriors. And she brought up this quick tidbit that I want to lead to the second fact I learned, Armando. Sorry for talking as long as I am right now. But here, real quick, this is a short one, is Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, who brought up, I believe today, an interesting side note pertaining to these negotiations, and something that she thought stuck out to her as progress in the negotiations. I do agree with this, and I want to add something else to it as well. Here is Ramona Shelburne, who I hope to bring back on the show very soon.
Kind of the last resort both sides want to go through is have him play out on that one-year deal.
Bobby, when I read that the Warriors had offered him the 3-year deal, the 3 years with the team option on the on the third year, I felt like they were the ones who blinked. Mm-hmm. Like, that to me was a significant development in these negotiations. That was a concession, because all summer long it had been a 1-and-1 team option on the second year. Now it gave him another guaranteed year. So that's, instead of being $24 million 2 years, but only 12, that's guaranteed. Now this is an extra $40 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money. And I felt like the Warriors already blinked by offering him that. And I know we're hung up on this team option versus player option, but Bob, you tell me if I'm wrong, but that felt like in the stare down that Kuminga has already got them to move.
And real quick before I explain why I played that clip, Desiree in here is saying that I'm acting like Kerr hates on media members that don't support him. Desi, let me add this fact to you that you apparently are not aware of. He literally got a media member fired for criticizing him back in 2021. I'm not making that up, man. And his name, I'll even say his name. He's a realtor now. Steve Kerr ended his media career. It was the guy that was doing the podcast after games with Grant Liffman, who incredibly is still in the basketball scene despite having zero basketball background. He was roommates with the former GM of the Hawks. He was an actor whose agent got him a job being a host for NBC Sports Bay Area. It was the guy. It was Grant Liffman's partner. Do you know what I'm talking about, Armando?
Mm-mm.
It's Drew Schiller. Drew Schiller's career is pretty much over outside of being a color commentator for Santa Cruz Warriors games because Steve Kerr did not like his content that was critical of him. He's out. You could thank Steve Kerr for that. The dude is punitive. The dude can enact retribution if he doesn't like what you're saying. He's also very cold, as I mentioned a moment ago, to media members who don't kiss his ass. That's how he rolls, man. I was also his teammate in Arizona, Tom Tolbert. I was once Tolbert's producer. You don't think I know how these guys roll, man? They're not the friendly, like they do a phenomenal job with the public persona they present. What I'm sitting here telling you is, and I don't like saying this, but it's my experience, is that there's a bit of a two-faced approach to it. Who they are when the cameras aren't rolling, they aren't the same people, man. Like, and that turns me off tremendously. And that's how Steve Kerr rolls. So, Desi, yes, he can actually stoop low and enact vengeance on media members that he doesn't like in terms of the framing of the stories. And Drew Schiller's career is over. He's a real estate agent now. That was a direct causation of Steve Kerr not being happy with him. Now, on that note, going back to the Rhonda Shelburne thing here real quick, I wholeheartedly agree with her that I thought that the fact that the second year being guaranteed was a step forward for Jonathan Kuminga. That was the Warriors blinking first. And I think, Armando, you might have a slightly different take on this, or maybe you'll add something to it. What I'm a little surprised by is, and I think this is why Aaron Turner did his PR campaign today. Aaron Turner, my guess is, thought that with the Warriors conceding with that second year, that they were going to just eventually move along a little further and guarantee that third year, which they still have not done yet. That's what's holding this whole thing up. Third year right now of that 3-year, approximately $80 million deal. I can't remember the exact figure. Was it 75? I think it's actually 75. What's holding that deal up is the fact that the third year is currently a team option. Kuminga wants a player option. I imagine the compromise will be just a no option for that third year. It's just going to be guaranteed. That's, I think, is what Aaron Turner is expecting. The Warriors have not blinked on that third year yet. Important thing to add, though, that one of the contracts on the table that I did not know existed until today was a 3-year, $54 million deal, all guaranteed. That is on the table for Jonathan Kuminga as well. That's one of the options that he clearly is not going to accept, but that the Warriors have offered. I was a little surprised to learn that, but $54 million over 3 years is what, $18 million a season? Do I have the math right on that? I could be mistaken. I literally just try to do that at this moment. But it's not enough. It's a lowball offer. It's a borderline bad faith offer. My guess is I thought this would be done by now, and I think this is why Aaron Turner did the PR campaign, is because that third year is still not guaranteed. Guaranteed the third year. This thing's over. Unfortunately, it looks like this is going to stretch until late next week. I don't think Aaron Turner is doing this PR campaign otherwise, threatening that qualifying offer. But this is where we're at. 2 years are guaranteed currently, with that third year being a team option at the moment that Kuminga is not signing. The Warriors do have a 3-year guaranteed offer on the table for $54 million. Low ball offer, though. Kuminga's not going to sign that. So all the Warriors have to do is just convert year 3, make that guaranteed, and then we'll actually talk basketball again, man. It's been months since we've done that. I'm going to shut up now, Armando. Your thoughts?
Okay. I think there's a big elephant in the room with all this. Like, we're sitting here as fans debating, they're in the chat, is JK better than Jimmy? Is he better than Franz Wagner? Can JK play with this guy and all? Man, shut up. The elephant in the room. There's one elephant in the room, and nothing else matters other than this. Are we going to play 3 and 4 no defense guard lineups next year? That's the elephant in the room. So that's loser ball. It ain't small ball. It's loser ball.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking the questions. Nobody's saying, do closeouts matter to you? Does dribble, pass, quit and post, Al Horford, chuck 3 at the end of the shot clock matter to you? Like, we have, if we sign Melton and Gary Payton, like are JK's minutes going to be with 4 guards on the floor? Like, what are we going to have a fake tryout in the beginning? Steve, this is what literally happened last year. He started JK. He played him 5 minutes with the starters. They were actually blowing teams out by 30 points a game in those 4 games. And then he just went away from it. What's actually the plan here? You're telling me, Pods has been playing. I feel bad for the kid, dude. I'm on here ripping on him all the time. The thing is, he's not a small forward, and he's being played with, like, we have Buddy Hield. We have, so y'all want to talk basketball? Let's talk basketball. We have Buddy Hield. We have Pods. We have Melton. We have Gary Payton. We have, I haven't even mentioned Moses Moody, who's just going to be benched in all this. So, like, where is the winning basketball and all that? That is the elephant in the room. That's been the elephant in the room with Steve Kerr coaching the Olympics. That's why they had to have Steph Curry bail them out. That's why they didn't even medal the year before, because of that 3-4 guard stuff. So this is
Josh Hart was the center on that team, Armando. Just a friendly reminder in case people don't know what you're talking about with that 2023 team. This was the FIBA Cup the year before the Summer Olympics, and Steve Kerr was the head coach of that team, and that team was not stacked, unlike the next year where Stephen Curry saved everyone's asses. Steve Kerr literally running that team that did not even medal. They didn't even medal, and Josh Hart, who some people say is a guard, was their center at 6'4". Sorry to interrupt.
So here's the thing, like, JK is he can. Steve Kerr sees him as a power forward. That's the only position he could play. That's why we're in this situation. It ain't about JK. It's about the 3-4 guard lineups. Okay, if I'm telling you, I have seen Jonathan Kuminga play long stretches, 30 game plus, where they went 19-11. And made the playoffs with him averaging 20 points a game, playing heavy minutes alongside the best players. Okay, this is not about this is not about JK. The elephant in the room is Steph and Draymond have hitched their tail to these 3-4 guy lineups. Do you think Jimmy Butler, who's averaged 57 games a year and now is going to be playing power forward at age 36, do you think that's actually going to improve? Do you think Draymond Green playing power forward and center next to Matador defense? Like, okay, Sai, can you actually think of a worse defensive lineup than Buddy Hield and Brandon Podjemski on the perimeter? Like, in the history of the NBA, can you think of a worse twosome?
Off the top of my head, no.
No. Buddy Hield is literally one of the worst perimeter defenders in the league.
Maybe in 2020 when D'Angelo Russell was on the Warriors and you had a backcourt of Russell and Michael Mulder. Maybe that compares, but that's how low I'm stooping. Sorry,
dude. So people, we've ripped on Gary Payton on this show. I'm actually a Gary Payton fan. My issue is he's being played in 3-guard lineups, sometimes 4 as the small forward and power forward. Gary Payton in 2022 was unleashed playing shooting guard. Like, when you got Draymond behind you, you got wings next to you, Wiggins, you got people that you can gamble. Like, if you play ball, you know who's playing with you. You can gamble, go play aggressively. But when he's on the court now with Buddy Hield, when he's on the court now with slow ass Kevon Looney, Gary Payton, you need to guard the best player, you need to rebound, and you need to help and recover when Brandon Podjemski just flops and falls over. So, like, the thing about JK,
the pod slander, JK, professor. I love. Sorry to go.
Y'all don't even know how me and my cousins talk about pods when we're watching games. Oh, by the way, we're gonna start a game watch with me and my cousins, and we're gonna rewind and force you to watch Brandon Podjemski's defense.
Good stuff,
dude. So Jonathan Kuminga playing with Steph Curry, with Jimmy Butler, with Draymond Green, and with whatever center you want. You know, people talk about a shooting center. Man, shut up. Even just throw TJD. And I haven't even mentioned TJD. They need to change his name to DMP. So you're telling me, like, Jonathan Kuminga on the point of attack defense with Jimmy Butler behind him and Draymond Green behind him. We're talking lights out. There's a reason why people think he was struggling on defense. It's because he was playing with 3 guards and Kevon Looney. That's why. So it may not look perfect. It may not look like curve ball. It may not look like the pass, Steph Curry bail you out predictable offense, but it's going to win games. Okay. And I've seen it. I've seen it win games. So the thing about all of this is just all nonsense. It's a total mystification of the elephant in the room, which is that 3-4 guard lineups do not win in 2025. It just don't happen. They didn't play that in 2022. They didn't do that. They played wings. So
you're right. No, you're right. Oh, and more specifically, Otto Porter Jr. was getting minutes. Andre Iguodala was getting real minutes. Nemanja Bjelica was getting real minutes. And those were big bodies. Juan Toscano Anderson was getting minutes. Big body. Damian Lee was getting minutes. And at 6'5", practically a center by today's standards. So I'm totally with you. 2022, like, people forget that roster was borderline perfect for Mr. Stephen Curry. Go ahead, sir.
Dude, so when Melton got injured last year, so people act like he's some kind of great fit. Dude was like, he barely played. Like, those first 4 games.
He looked good. You don't think he looked good though? Like when he played on the Warriors?
No, he did. But in those first 4 games when they're blowing 30 teams out, he was actually injured. He comes back and then he gets injured. They had some great wins against the Celtics and it was tight. But you know what happened? Pods got benched in those minutes. And it's an untold story. No, because the media doesn't question it. But Pods was legitimately upset. He quit and asked out of the game, okay, when that happened. And then they, in order to keep Pods from playing small forward in the 3 guards lineups, I'm picking on Pods because he's the example in that actually happens. So they signed Dennis Schroeder. The front office is like, okay, this will let you have a backup point guard and we can move Pods to the right position and you won't have to play Pods so much at, shooting guard and small forward. The dude played them together. So it was a complete effing disaster last December because he started playing Dennis Schroeder next to the other 2 guards. Like this. So people act like it's going to be suddenly fixed this year with Melton and all these guys. Like, no. I'm telling you, you guys need to be ready for Xmas when the Warriors are 500. Okay, that's what's going to happen.
Oof. And again, I'm more optimistic than you are about this coming season if everything falls into place. But you might be right. I cannot sit here and present a strong argument that you're wrong on this. I'm definitely looking at this more from an optimistic perspective. Desiree, real quick in the chat, keeps bringing up Brandon Podjemski as being a good defender. Look, he does not have the lateral foot speed to represent elite defense, solid defense. He's not like terrible. He's strong, right? He's led the NBA, I think, 2 years in a row in charges. So he knows a good positioning. I do think he's a high IQ player, but he's just not quick enough for some of the fastest guards to defend them and stay in front of them. He gets beat routinely. Armando, do you mind if we bring an audience member in? We got Twin waiting in the chat. Twin, sit tight real quick because I got to give some love real quickly to our title sponsor, and that's FanDuel. And I also want to quickly take this moment before I even do that to let people know if you're interested in sponsoring the program, we're right now aggressively pursuing local sponsors for hopefully Humboldt's going to roll back soon. Visit Humboldt more specifically, but we have slots open right now before the season gets going. And look, if you don't get in by the time the season starts, we can't promise that there's going to be space for you. Audience numbers are going to be massive. The season is going to be pivotal. This could be a world championship contending team. And why not jump on the train, man? Warriors24pod@gmail.com is our email address. Reach out to us if you're interested in sponsoring our program. Again, Warriors24pod@gmail.com. Sponsor the show. We got Rick Barry. We got Sophia Jones on a weekly basis. We got the professor, Armando Lara, Mark Haynes joining us, and that's on top of all the guests. We got live post-game shows. It's going to be a party this season. It's going to be wild, and be a part of it. Join the show. And on that note, FanDuel, who is we're proud to have as a title sponsor, they have a lot of odds currently available on their sportsbook pertaining to the NBA. Next Tuesday night, which is the I-80 crossover. Mark Haynes, host of Believe in Kings, and yours truly. We collaborate every Tuesday night. I'm trying to get it's been a little while since Larry Krueger was on the show. I'm going to see if I can bring him back. And we're going to do for that evening an over-unders show because FanDuel now has all the OUs available in terms of wins and losses for each individual team. And Armando, you've been adamant that you think the Warriors are going to hit the under, correct? I think you're muted because I can't hear you.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, and the OU for that currently is 46.5. The Warriors last year won 48 games, and so the bookies, I imagine, are believing, based on setting this line, that Kuminga is going to come back, that Al Horford's going to be signed, DeAnthony Melton's back, Seth Curry, I hope, is part of the free agent input, if you will, for the Golden State Warriors. So 46.5 is that OU for Golden State this coming season. Tuesday night, we're going to go through every single team, and I'm going to keep note of it. So we'll revisit those totals at the end of the season to see which one of us got the most correct picks and wrong picks. But that's FanDuel, man. And again, I really wish here in California we could play. I envy those of you out there who can legally just open the app and start laying down lines. More power to you. Hopefully someday, might be wishful thinking, us here in California will do the same. On that note, already he's changed his name, I think, Twin Empire. Welcome to the program. You got the Niners representing behind you, red and gold. We're talking blue and gold. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me well?
Very well, yes.
Hey, first and foremost, I'm so glad I found your channel, man. I felt like I was like out there by myself in the wilderness with my thoughts about this team, how we have been put together over the last couple of years. And I know somebody who's very close to the organization with some of the writers, and I always text them behind the scenes like, man, why can't you say anything about Steve Kerr? And the only thing you're going to hear is he has 4 rings. He got 4 rings. He won with San Antonio.
Quinn, can I give you a good comeback for? First of all, can you name the writer or no? Is that too TMI?
Well, you said his name earlier already.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it there. Well, let me ask you this, or not ask you this. Let me present this to you in terms of a comeback. The next time someone says 4 rings, bro, bring up KC Jones, former head coach of the Boston Celtics. He played alongside Bill Russell for those 60 Celtics teams. That dude has 12 rings, and no one's pretending he's a genius, dude. So that is your comp. The next time someone says 4 rings, bro, not especially the 9 one is really just out there. People pretending like Steve Kerr like played a part in those 5 championships. Dude, he was on the bench, man. Like just averaging 8 minutes a game, 10 minutes a game. It's ridiculous to pretend like he won those titles. He was a bench writer, dude. Nonetheless, the next time someone throws that at you, 4 rings, bro, 9 rings, bro, just come back with KC Jones, 12 rings, and then ask them if they think KC Jones is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Sorry for the interruption. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem, man. You good. And so my thing has been a lot of things you guys have already talked about. The size of the Warriors, the inability to allow these young players to get, I call it TOT, time on task. When you are a team that get these young guys, they have to understand the rhythm, the calls of the referees of playing basketball. You can't play in these short, small stints and then think these players are going to all of a sudden be high IQ or understand their role when they don't understand how long they're going to play. They don't get the consistent minutes and things of that nature, especially a guy like JK, who was known to be a hooper. When you see Cade Cunningham or you see these other guys, when you are an athlete who played against these other players and you sit there and see like, man, I am restricted right now. I know I can play against these guys. I know I can play with these guys. You know what? I'm mad because it's not that I want to be Steph Curry, because a lot of the writers say, oh, he wants to be the guy. It's like, no, I know that I can help. I know that with opportunity and giving enough leeway, because like my man said, he's a Ferrari. You don't take a Ferrari in a residential area and say, oh, let's just drive around. No, you take a Ferrari out there and you gas it. You got to see what it has. And so for me, it's upsetting whenever he does get the minutes. You say, oh, his rebounds increase, his points per game gets up, even his free throws, because it's the confidence that he has built. When he understands that I don't have to, it's like being with a woman sometimes. You don't want to sit here and every little you think she ain't finna call you back, or you're like, oh man, I gotta walk on eggshells. No man wants to walk around on eggshells with that woman. You want to have the freedom of expression to know that, hey, my duty is to win, but sometimes, sweetheart, I might make a mistake here and there, but my goal is that we all are going to win. And so that's why I love hearing you guys talk about these things. Thank you, because Steve Kerr needs to be put, and it's not a knock on him, but it is a knock on him. When we had Jeremy Lamb and these other guys sitting on playing more than Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, and even with James Wiseman, we looking like, bro, they still, y'all remember this, right? Remember that year they got off and they kept losing the games at the end of the game. And it was the old heads that kept losing, but all the people wanted to point fingers at the young boys. Oh, I'm like sitting there like, so then Wiseman got hurt. JK started riding the bench, and guess what kept happening in the fourth quarter? They lost as many games in the fourth quarter than any team that year. End up trying to vie for a playing position. Nobody critiques Steve Kerr in the media, and I'm sitting here looking like, bro, this is when JK needs to play. This is when Wiseman needs to play. This is when Moody got to get the opportunity, but y'all keep snatching it away from these young men. And so it's so many things that went on the last 2.5 to 3 years that I think it's okay to criticize Steve Kerr about, and it doesn't knock what he did since 2012 or 2013 when he got his head coach position, but he has to adapt.
Yeah, he hasn't adapted. Well said. Well said. Do you have anything you want to promote before you go, man? I got Desirio in the chat waiting. I can't thank you enough for the kind words, man. Go ahead, sorry.
Nah, man. Twin Empire, man. Look, I'm a 49er fan and a Golden State Warrior fan. Steve Kerr and Kyle Shanahan has similar attributes about themselves that you can't say nothing about them in the media about certain things. But I love that you guys are out here being objective in your analysis, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you hate the guy or you hate this team.
Exactly. It ain't personal. Yeah, it's not personal. It's not
at all, man. So, man, yeah, just follow me on Twitter.
I'm telling you, man, a lot of these people just have no idea what sports media is even about. It's like, what are you actually criticizing the head coach? Oh my Lord! Like, dude, people are getting a tizzy over that. It's like, dude, he's a human being he makes nearly $20 million a year, and you're sitting here telling me he's above critique? Like, get the F out of here, dude. Like,
and before I get off real fast, I gotta say this point too. For most people who want to sit here and not, we finna talk about this real quick. Oh, JK doesn't rebound. I seen Klay Thompson not rebound. I seen Andrew Wiggins not rebound he rebounded for 3 months one time with the Warriors. But other than that, he wasn't a consistent rebounder as well. Nobody wants to talk about that.
And Kuminga's rebounding numbers per 36 or when he plays 30 minutes or more are actually fantastic. The rebounding thing isn't even true. It's just a lame critique. Yeah, Armando, on that? Yeah, of course.
One thing out on that. So you totally right. Per 36 rebound, I think Kuminga's pushing 7 rebounds a game. But how is it? First of all, how is it okay to say, Kuminga, you need to guard the point guard on the perimeter, and you need to go run out on the fast break? That's your job. and you need to defensive rebound as the power forward. How, like, the media, talk about, like, we're talking about, like, critiquing the media, but the reason I go there is because there are basketball questions that need to be asked. That's where I'm coming from. You feel me? Like, it don't make sense. That's like high school stuff, dude. Like, we're a team that literally still offensive rebounds. Nobody in the league offensive rebounds. That shit is past. You're a loser team if you go for offensive rebounds. You're sending every time Pods goes for offensive rebound, it's a fucking layup, a wide open three on the other side. Every single time. People talk about they love his offensive rebounds. They don't look at the 3, 4, 5 times he doesn't get it, and it's a layup on the other side. Like, you feel me? Those are basketball questions, and nobody asks them.
Well, I'm going to be asking. Look, media day is the same day as the start of training camp this year. I don't think they're going to Hawaii like they did last year. And if this thing is not resolved by then, because they call it media day for a reason, man. All these guys are accessible. I'm going to be there. And last year I didn't talk to Kerr. I'm sure as shit going to be grilling him this year. And what I'm telling you, the reason why I bring this up is because if this Kuminga thing is not resolved by media day, which is a week from Monday, that's going to be an awkward situation, dude. Like, media day is held at Chase Center every year, and they have all these booths because the players are using this time because they're wearing their uniforms. So they go in all these different booths to record like multimedia packages that you end up seeing throughout the season, right? Usually in commercials and promos and stuff. Radio stations use the sound for their audio. And if there's only 9 dudes there this year, and like Al Horford's not actually there because he's not signed, and Melton's not there, and bro, this is going to be awkward. And this is why I think this is going to get resolved by then, because I don't think any of these guys want to face a full media contingent with a full interview room and there's no clock, right? Like, so days like these, media is asking questions until the individual is exhausted, pretty much. I mean, not literally. At a certain point, there's a, they say thank you, but dude, Kerr's going to be hearing it. Like, and I don't think the team wants it to get to that point. That's why I think when you think about Aaron Turner and you hear his comments in this PR campaign, and he's bringing up that qualifying offer, he's timing this right now because he knows the team does not want it to get to training camp with this standoff continuing. And Aaron Turner is not going to have his clients sign that qualifying offer before training camp. There's no rush. He can wait this out as long as he wants. He knows that if he waits until after October 1st, the team's going to be scrambling to fill roster positions, and that's the leverage that he has. So that's why I think they're sitting tight, and they're going to wait for the Warriors to blink even more, and he's going to get that 3rd year guaranteed, because the Warriors, this would be a PR nightmare, Armando, just like you're talking about with PR. There's no way to spin this in a positive manner. If media day, you have 9 players under contract, and your star players, Steph, Draymond, if all they're hearing is, what's going to happen here? What are you guys going to do? What are your thoughts on Kuminga? What are your thoughts on your coach putting you in this position? And they do not like criticizing Steve Kerr, right? That's their boys. So the Warriors, I think, are going to do everything in their power to avoid it getting to that position. And that's why I also think this is going to result in the next week or so. I could be wrong, but that's just me. Any final thoughts from Twin, who was fantastic today, brother? Who are the Niners playing this Sunday, by the way, real quick? It's a big game, right?
Arizona Cardinals. Yeah,
they're going to win that.
Well,
they better.
I ain't gonna say nothing. Also for you guys,
say no. What do you think, man?
No, I mean, I believe we're going to win, but a lot of times people look at Arizona as pushovers, but they have played us close over the last 5 years consistently, no matter who's the head coach or the quarterback. So I respect a team that in the division rivalries, man, you can't just count them boys out as an easy W. That's all I'm going to say.
And Kyler Murray is a pest. He's so fast, even though he's little, and he causes problems. The Niners are favored courtesy of FanDuel by 2.5 points. So even the bookies think it's going to be a close game. Yeah. And
I'll say this. Y'all check out Rajon Rondo, who's known to be one of the high IQ guys out there. He did an interview one time talking about the Warriors and saying, "Are their time up? Or is their time up?" He says that offensive system needs to be upgraded and updated. But he says they have not moved since 2002. He says, man, the league has caught up. And he says that offense is good to a certain point, but he says they have to add more things to it. But he says Kerr hasn't moved on that. And he's a guy, everybody knows he's a savant. He plays the game. He knows the game, and he knows the athletes that are going against this Warriors team. And we're going to notice this year more than any time. You got 4 guys who are on the all AARP team right now in our starting 5. these guys got on the same Depends that Deion Sanders is out here promoting right now. They are older players. You need somebody out here with some athleticism, not only as a small forward, but also your 5 position as well. And so I'm just like curious to know how you guys feel about this team and the athleticism that's needed to be able to compete with the OKCs, the Houstons, the other teams that are coming up. And these older players aren't playing 35, 37, 38 minutes a game. They've already been at 32, 33 for the last 5 years. They can't keep that thing ratcheted up like that, man. So at the end of the day, man, I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to hop on here. I love Warriors basketball, but I love when guys go into detail about the offense and the defense. Like my man was talking about getting back in transition. How you are the point of attack defender, and you can't go.
Sorry. You brought up Dion, and I had to go there, man. It must be the money. Must be the money.
Hey, when you are the point of attack defender, you are around the arc most of the time anyway. It's not like you can go in there and get rebounds, but that's a whole nother story, man. So I love it that you guys talk football at a deeper level. I mean, basketball at a deeper
I love
level.
you, man. Come back. You were on fire today, dude. Like you are good at this. Come back, man. All right.
Yeah. Hey, again, check out my YouTube channel, man. Twin Empire, and
Empire.
holla at your boy, man. Keep doing a good thing, man. Hey, I'm gonna be in the chat. Y'all see me out here like a little.
Come back. I'm dead serious. Come back.
Man.
If you want me on your show, hit me up. Like you're dude. Great first impression. Congratulations. You killed it.
All right, man. Y'all have a wonderful night. Enjoy y'all weekend, man. Peace out. Thank you again for the opportunity, man. Salute.
You too, man. It is Friday. It's Friday. Let's not forget that. Let's keep things in perspective. Dude. Armando, are you ready? Do I need to give you a second to warm up for Desi? He's gonna come at you, dude.
I want to respond to that. Was a great caller. Oh man.
Agreed.
Dude,
Agreed.
The Warriors,
Twin was on fire there.
The Warriors,
Desi Rio dude. It's not easy to follow and act like that. But so Desi is following a Twin who was on fire. Yeah.
The Warriors run the most predictable offense in the league. What he said about Rajon Rondo could not be more than the truth. There's a reason why in the playoffs they stopped running the pinch post split action that they try to use all year long. The other teams are looking at, okay, we know it's coming. We know where the ball's going. It's the most predictable thing. This is the elephant in the room. Is Steve Kerr this summer in the lab tweaking a Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Steph offense? Is he doing that? I don't want to see no JK highlight reels working in the gym. I don't want to see Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green highlight reels. I want to see a video clip of Steve Kerr at his desk watching clips of wing lineups and how to take advantage of them. That's what I want to see. Is Steve Kerr doing? No, he's not. He ain't doing that. He's not. I'm telling you, man.
The Warriors losing Mike Brown. The effects of that are felt to this day, and a huge reason for that. What I saw behind the scenes when it comes to Mike Brown, never mind the fact that he's a genuinely good dude. His players love him. He is a workaholic, and Steve Kerr is not. Steve Kerr is the epitome of laid back, and that's also why his players, for the most part, have him as a coach, because he's not riding your ass. He's not micromanaging. He believes in accountability. But teams, you can't just have that approach. And again, Mike Brown is the assistant. He is still missed to this day, and I think the Knicks got a great coach there. Are you ready for Desi, Armando?
Sure, ready for anybody.
All right. Let me. I need a sound effect to warm up Desi's appearance. I don't have the boxing bell, so I guess just a gong will have to suffice. Welcome, Desi Rio. I'm going to shut up. What's your take?
Can you hear me? Yeah. I just wanted to start off with I had a question about the Drew Schiller thing that you said Steve Kerr got him fired and things like that. I did a little my own research. Correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty much Drew, he did a tweet quoting Steve Kerr from a podcast, and then Steve Kerr got mad because it was saying that Kevin Durant replied to it, and Steve Kerr got mad about it. And one thing I don't understand is, was him speaking out against him ruined his career, or did it specifically get him fired? That's what I was confused about.
Just to give you a little more context, Rio, Drew Schiller, in addition to hosting that post-game show, and this was It was a 30-minute show. I think they were called like the Outsiders or something. I can't remember the name of the program, but it was a 30-minute show that would come on after the Warriors postgame show. And it wasn't his words on the show that got him in trouble. Drew Schiller was also writing for NBC Sports Bay Area. And the words that he would publish sounded like my words on this show. Like he was actually writing accurate columns that was sometimes pointing out Steve Kerr's deficiencies. And I like case in point, he would bring up like Brad Wanamaker and like, what the hell is he doing getting 20 minutes? He'd bring up things like that. And those stories are all out there. But those stories were the buildup because those columns were the only thing out there that was routinely criticizing Kerr. And so he clearly wasn't appreciative of that. And he basically found an excuse to get really pissed off, which was the tweet you're referencing that Kevin Durant responded to. And we work in an industry that is so competitive and difficult to find employment in that if you get let go from a job in this industry, there's a good chance you're done. Like you might have to move to the other side of the country if you want to keep doing this work because there are very few openings. It's unfortunate in that regard. But Steve Kerr was clearly, he's not an idiot. I've never once accused him of that. He clearly was aware that by ending his career there, he was essentially ending his media career unless Drew Schiller would move somewhere else. And so Drew Schiller became a real estate agent. Did that give you enough context?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. To me, it just seems like he's trying to, I guess, like fix a misunderstanding between what he was saying. Maybe there's context. I don't know if maybe the writer was a Steve Kerr hater. I don't know. That could have been it.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Maybe there was a connection like that. But okay. Nevertheless, I just wanted to direct my attention to Professor because Professor has been saying some interesting things, and to the part where you were saying like the 4-guard lineup and things like that. I just want to ask you: do you consider Jimmy Butler part of that guard as a guard?
Yeah, I do, but that's not who I'm referring to. He's okay at power.
Because like our best lineup post All-Star, like just was Steph, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Moses Moody, and Brandon Pajemski. That they started for they won like they were like 17-0 for a little bit. And why do you think it's not? What do you think our best lineup was?
The only lesson you should take for the end of last season was fool's gold. That 30 game that what was it? 30 or 20 game where they won on those games. For me, my man, and I hear you. I don't deny that you looked at those stats and they're the best lineup of the season. That lineup was good against tanking teams. One, okay, for a majority of it. Those teams they're not trying to. They're like, I got two things to say about this. They're not trying. It's vacation mode. You think we're going to try on a Thursday night again? You know, like we're ready. I'm not getting injured next year. I got a contract to play. Like the way you know this is how many minutes the opposing teams are playing their best players together. That's how you know the other team's actually trying and going for it. The other thing about the end of that great winning, the great winning lineup, and it was so good. When they did play the great teams, they had a great win against the Nuggets. Pods hit like 35 points or something like that. They had some other was it the Clippers that like some other great
Lakers? There was
Lakers, right? Yeah, that happened. So the thing is, in the NBA, when a new situation arrives, there's no scouting report. You don't know. You actually don't know how to guard a Jimmy Butler, who's a good player alongside Steph Curry. You actually don't know how to figure it out. There's no scouting report. That's a thing that happens. The scouting report was figured out against the Rockets and Minnesota.
Yeah, it was.
And so what I'm saying is that's great. That history of the lineup, that's great. That's good. I personally do not think that's an indicator of the future. That's my opinion. I think it's reasonable to disagree. And I think 70% of fans would agree with you.
All right, but you're proposing,
and I think the coach, Steph Curry, Draymond, and Jimmy would agree with you. I totally think they're wrong.
Desi, if you don't mind me jumping here for 1 second, Desi, you bring up the second half of last season as evidence that like these certain lineups worked or whatever. it's very important to provide some added context there, because a lot of people like to bring up that the Warriors, when Jimmy Butler first was acquired, were 12-2, right? I think that's the record before Jonathan Kuminga came back from his injury. But that 12-2 stretch was against literally the weakest part of the schedule. Like, if you actually look at who they beat, it was like Brooklyn twice. It was Charlotte. I think the Kings were in there. And then when Kuminga came back, they were 11-6, which is not as good of a record. But that stretch of games was the most difficult part of this season. And Kuminga was a part of the wins over the Nuggets, the Lakers, all these games you mentioned. I guess, Desi, what I think Armando is trying to say here, and Desi, I'd love to know your justification of this. Like, when you see Steve Kerr putting GP2 as your power forward, when you see a Brandon Pajemski out there with GP2 and Stephen Curry, side note, that trio is garbage, dude. And net rating confirms that as well. Yet Steve Kerr routinely will roll with these like 3-4 guard lineups. Another lineup, those three with Buddy Hield. We saw that. Moses Moody as your power forward. We saw that. Jimmy Butler, who did not play the 4 on other teams. On the Warriors, he's now a power forward. Like, how do you defend that? Like, why are you okay with these small players playing big positions?
No, I'm not defending the idea. Honestly, I also think Steve Kerr is not trying to do that too. I think he's trying to play more bigger. That's why the Al Horford signing, I think, will be even more gold, because people are saying he's old and stuff, but he's our stretch big. He could shoot, and defensively, he's not that bad. Plus, if you have him with Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, I don't think his defense. He's not even defending. Like, he's not
He's awesome. No, I agree with you. Yeah. Al Horford's a great pickup. Yeah,
he's old, but you have Draymond and Jimmy on the side, so I feel like his athletic problems won't be that shown. Professor, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So in 2025, basketball is different now. You know, one of the reasons that lineup was so good was because Draymond Green was playing heavy minutes at center. And that's not something they were doing with Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins. They would not play that lineup together, even though that lineup had good ass numbers in his year 3. Okay, they just went away from it. And what I'm concerned about with the Al Horford, Draymond, Jimmy, Pajemski, Steph Curry lineup, what I'm on the lookout for that is end of shot clock situations where it's Jimmy passing out to Pods or Draymond passing out to Al Horford, and it's a chuck 3 at the end of the shot clock. That's going to be the offense. That's what it's the pass, chuck, connector, shoot the 3. Al Horford has not played ball like that. Al Horford has been in the corner off a pick and roll from some wings. Now, there's a reason why a lot of good shooters come to the Warriors and do not shoot well. They're playing out of position. They're guarding guys that are above their position. They are being asked to chuck against a shot clock 3 because the offense is to nowhere. I am very concerned with Al Horford's performance on the Warriors. I get that it makes sense on paper, but unless you play him with Wings and Kuminga next to the best players, I think Warriors fans are going to be a little bit surprised that this is not the Al Horford they thought they were getting.
I mean, 39 is old. Sorry, go ahead.
I disagree. I think Warriors offense is more suited for Al Horford, actually, because the main thing is Steph, because he was playing with 2 wings, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and they're pretty much playing isolation with pick and rolls. That's what they were pretty much doing, and that's how they wanted the chip. But with us, it's really different. We use that's why Draymond is our point guard. We use Steph's spacing to create opportunities. That's why I feel he will flourish.
Draymond's not point guard no more.
So who's our point guard?
Draymond's not the point guard no more.
What do you say that, Armando?
He's not the
he's
guy.
Our point forward.
He's not no more. That's how it used to be. Draymond was the point god in 2022. They don't do that no more. You gotta watch.
We brought that up repeatedly on this show too. Like the usage rate for Draymond, even though statistically it doesn't reflect much of a dip, there's a slight dip in usage rate. But I pointed out repeatedly on this program that we don't see Draymond playing that point guard position like he used to. And I don't know the reason for that, Armando. Do you have a suspicion?
I know exactly why.
Who's our point guard?
It's Pajemski. It's Pajemski. That's why Draymond Green is shooting those chuck wide open 3s. because the ball, I'm telling you, it's pass. Podzinski, no creation, nothing. There's nowhere to go after the first look option to Steph Curry because the whole team, Steph Curry is lucky to get an open look in the playoffs. Lucky. And that's the greatest player of all fucking time, in my opinion. And it ends up in the center for a three that the defense wants the Warriors to take. That's what they get. Seriously, I think that's what I think about that.
I think you're mistaking playmaking for ball handling. I'll for sure, like, Podz is our main ball handler. He has the ball the most. He's protecting the ball. But you think Podz is the one that's making the most offensive like passes, that's running the offense, like who's getting like I don't think so. I think he's the receiver in most of those.
He's not at the top of the key. He's not the guy pulling the ball up in semi-transition anymore. Running into dribble handoffs when the defense is off balance. That shit was elite. That's where the money was. And when he was at center doing that, that was the key to the whole thing. They don't.
Well, the good news, I think, and both of you may or may not agree, but the DeAnthony Melton signing, to me, one of the many reasons why I love it is because we're likely going to see Brandon Podzinski come off the bench now. When the Warriors had DeAnthony Melton last year, he earned the starting position. It was working. I know they were playing some really garbage teams early on, and the sample size is minuscule. I think he has 6 games under his belt as a member of the Warriors. One of those games, I think he got hurt. The point is, though, I love the Melton signing, if for no other reason, because Brandon Podzinski comes off the bench. I don't like Pod starting. I never liked that. And Desiree, I'm with you in the sense that I do think Al Horford as a fit is going to be awesome. But, Desi, do you really think 39 is not old? Are you not concerned about
that? For sure old. But we have Quentin Post. That's my hope.
Yeah, that's true.
Honest.
That's true.
He should be taking off the minutes off Al Horford. I don't really expect Al Horford to be actually playing more than 30 minutes, honestly, with Quentin Post.
No, you're right.
I see Quentin Post going crazy. So I think Steve Kerr will be able to like make sure it's perfect for both of them and preserve Al Horford for the playoffs. That's what we really just need him for, and just run Quentin Post and the whole thing. So yeah, but I think Draymond is the one who's running our offense, even though he might not have the ball the most. He's usually the one running their offense, in my opinion. And I want to ask Professor about him believing Podz is not a good defender. That's what's getting me a little confused right now, because the effort, he has the most effort in our whole team, probably. The hustle stats defend him. He was leading charges and things like that. He's a fast player. He has a great IQ, as you see in the games. I don't understand how you could say Podz is.
Oh, Desi, I'm watching a man whose head is about to explode right before my eyes. I love it. Look, Desi, I hear your points, and Armando, you're obviously going to answer this, but hustle is not enough. I love the hustle. What I've said before, and I'll say it again, Podzinski's lateral quickness is not enough. It's never going to be enough for him to be an elite defender. That's just the reality of it. You need elite athleticism to be an elite defender. But I also don't think Podzinski's like, a void out there. Like, people are taking advantage of him, but he's not an elite defender. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if he ever sees Brandon Podzinski guarding him, is licking his chops, waiting to score an easy 2 points. I'll shut up about that issue. Armando, go ahead.
Wasn't there a stat I saw saying that like Podz holded SGA to like the lowest field goal percent or something? I'll see if I can find that up. But it was saying like out of all the players, Podz was actually the one that defended SGA the most. I might be mistaken. I'm sorry, but yeah,
that's all right. But Armando, what your take? Why, in your opinion, is Podzinski an awful defensive player? Because Desiree clearly takes some umbrage to that.
Desiree, I appreciate your perspective. I think a vast majority of fans believe Podz is a good defender. And so it's not a crazy opinion. And I think the coaching staff thinks he's a good defender. And they're the ones with 4 championships. So I definitely think it's a valid opinion to hold. So the thing is, like, when you play ball and there's a smaller guy that is hustling and diving for the ball and reaching out, and he's in the right place at the right time. He could maybe take a charge, and then the offense is a little off kilter with that. It looks good in a vacuum, and that's what people are seeing. It's the counterintuitive fact that I look at. So Pods is diving for a ball that Moses Moody or Kyle Anderson could just reach out and grab it. Okay. He's jumping for a big ass rebound that everybody gives him credit for. When it's like it's a mirage. And
it's more style than substance, is what you're saying.
We call it getting lammed. So the thing about those rebounds, like in that defensive position, Anthony Lamb, who was getting those minutes, Steve Kerr thought he was a great defender, in the right place at the right time all the time. And that's the same thing with Pods. It looks like good defense. It looks great. He's in the right place. He's not getting completely blown by like Buddy Hield. Playing defense is about making guys uncomfortable. And what I see when I'm watching him, guys are comfortable when he's closing out on them. He's great. Oh, he's a great closeouter. He rushes to the 3-point line, but it don't matter. It don't matter. You're comfortable. And the thing about the plus minus defensive stats with Pods, so that like he gets a lot of credit for that stuff. Like when you're subbing in for Klay Thompson in 2023, your plus minus is going to be good. When you're playing exclusively with the best players on the team, that means in the regular season context, the offense just forgets about you. The offense, they're not really like prepping like that. It's regular season. That's the kind of stuff that we saw. We saw 110% effort during the regular season for a player like that we know cannot take a level up in the playoffs. That's what the NBA is about. And it all came true. He was getting, in my view, it did not look good. Obviously I'm starting to repeat myself, but that was not looking good in the playoffs defensively. Once I saw defenses come prepared for that.
Desi, I want to get some other people on here as we try to start to wrap up the show. Any final thoughts, Desirio?
Yeah, I'm gonna just be quick with it. Honestly, agree to disagree. I think Pods is a solid defender. I think he puts the hustle. I also believe that net rating over long periods of time is a useful stat to use. Like if it's over the whole season and he's consistently
I'm with you on that. To a certain degree, yeah.
He's producing. He's doing something good. He's actually helping to winning. So yeah, that's just my Pods take. We could just agree to disagree. I mean, the eye test might be different for you, but the stats support Pods. I'm sorry. And yeah, I think Horford, you're saying Pods benefits by playing with good players. The same thing is going to happen to Horford. Then Horford is going to be better because he's playing with better players. We have to keep the argument like consistent, So yeah, that's my last thoughts. I don't want to take too much time.
No, you're good.
Great argument with you guys. It was
fun. Horford's going to struggle because he's playing with Pods. I think Pods is a good defender, playing the point guard, surrounded by wings. I think in that context, offense is going to forget about him. He'll get lots of charges. It'll be nice. He's big for his position at point guard. I support that. I support 20 minutes of Pods at point guard. He's actually big. But when he's having a guard, in a help position, like, dude, that shit is loser ball in the aggregate. It just is. They're a losing team with this guy playing big minutes. They're not winning shit, dude.
All I'm hearing is we need basketball to start. I can't wait to see actual Warriors basketball. I want to see Brandon Pajemski and Al Horford on the court together. This conversation is pumping me up. Desirio, what are you doing this weekend, man? It's Friday night. Are you doing anything fun? I imagine you're on the younger side age-wise, which gives you a lot more freedom and latitude to do some crazy shit. What are you doing on a Friday night?
Just, hanging out with friends, getting high type shit, having fun.
Good. Have fun. Just don't hurt yourself. Stay safe so your parents don't get traumatized in the process. But have fun. Always a pleasure, brother. I love the differing perspective you bring. And I'm with you in terms of like net rating. If you look at it over like a year, right? That is a sample size where I take it a little seriously. You can't objectively look at it ever, really, if you think about it. But I'm with you, man. Like Brandon Pajemski, good things typically happen when he plays, but I'm also strongly with Armando where He should not be starting. He's not a 2 guard. 20 minutes is a perfectly reasonable number of minutes for him. When you start starting him, when he starts getting 30 minutes a game, I don't think good things are happening at that point. And I'd love to see actually what his net rating is in terms of, and Desi, maybe for next show, if you find that stat, because I know you said you're going to look up his defense as well. See if you can find what his net rating is when he plays 30 minutes or more. Because I'm very curious if that winning brand of basketball continues when he's out there for heavy minutes. But you killed it, man. Bravo, Desi and Armando. You two had a great discourse. We got 2 more people in the audience. I feel bad for Chardal, by the way, who started the show early, dropping a $1.99 pay chat, just saying, what's up? How are you guys doing? If you're seeing this, Chardal, come back. You can finish the show. But we got James in the chat. I don't know if you've been on the show before. I don't recognize you. Forgive me. James, how you doing?
Good. How y'all doing?
Doing all right, man. What's on your mind?
Shoot, nothing. Just kind of piggybacking what y'all saying. It's ridiculous that people really think a 39-year-old Al Horford and
it's old. Yeah. What's up? Go for it. Oh, is it bad connection? James, I'm going to put you on hold for a second. I'll bring you back, all right? Find a better spot connection-wise. Aim assist. The man has a silky smooth voice, very reminiscent of Chef in South Park. Who's the guy behind the Chef's voice? And he eventually quit because he was a Scientologist who got offended. What's his name? Armando, do you know what I'm talking about? Aim, do you know what I'm talking about? It's a legendary crooner, dude, the singer. Anyways, Aim, I apologize. Go ahead. How are you doing?
Yo, how you doing, Sir?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to remind everybody that JK is on Franz Wagner level, so that's not crazy to say. He just don't get minutes. JK already a better playoff performer than Franz. Franz had the worst individual playoff performance in Magic history, but I got a question though. What y'all think about the Pat Bell situation? I know that's off topic a little bit.
Dude, I don't know, but I love you went off topic. More specifically, what are you talking about? I know Pat Bev the other day. Who did he throw shade at? I forgot, but he said something kind of crazy.
Oh, Trae Young.
Is that what you want to bring up, or are you bringing up something different?
No, I was talking about how he was saying it basically started how Pat Bell was saying they basically don't give enough heart in the All-Star game. Trae said leave it up to the All-Stars, and then it just escalated from there.
So Pat basically took it personally because that was a shot saying he's not an All-Star. Pat Bev is funny, man. That's all I could say about him. The guy, I'm not going to, value his words and take it to heart, but he entertains. I personally think the All-Star game is a joke at this point. I don't even know why they have it. Just give the players a week off. The slam dunk contest is expired. The 3-point contest has some, has an entertainment value to it, but I don't know if that's enough to have a whole weekend of festivities. It's just a marketing ploy. That's all I see of the All-Star game now. No one tries. There's no stakes. So to me, the All-Star game is a chance to just nap and sleep and rest. That's my take on it. Armando, do you have any thoughts on the All-Star game?
What was Pat Bev's opinion on that? Who, by the way, Pat Bev has the best Jonathan Kuminga nickname, Cowabunga. I love that. I push that whenever I get a chance. But what did he say?
I'm glad you didn't say cum bucket, because I know that was the very derogatory original nickname for Jonathan Kuminga. That thankfully
horrible nickname, bro. It's a bad nickname, bro. I can't lie. But not after that, he was like, Pat Bell was like, Trae is not a good leader. He doesn't make the playoffs enough. And then he was talking about how he made the playoffs more and stuff like that.
Damn.
Pat Bev's funny, man. I'll never forget Pat Bev telling Steph it's my turn now. You remember that? What was that, like in 2019?
I remember that. Oh, bro, that was so bad.
He's a clown, man, but he's funny.
So
I just.
So the thing about Trae Young, and I look at that. Last week I was talking about East Coast ball versus West Coast ball, and like I brought up Dante DiVincenzo, how he looked good on the Knicks, and then he looked bad when he came back to Minnesota. Like, if you're a star player and you're not making the playoffs in the East, like something to dude, like seriously, if Jonathan Kuminga was on an East Coast team, like next year, like
all-star,
bro,
30 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, dude, he would be. You're right. It would be insane. Like you'd get comps to like LeBron if he was in the East Coast. That's a great point, Armando, because the Eastern Conference is so pathetic. It's so weak. Like first of all, if I was a superstar in the NBA and I was a free agent, I'm going East. Why not? Your stats are going to get bumped 5 points plus a game. Everything's going to increase numbers wise. Numbers mean something contractually. You're going to have an easier time winning. So people are going to portray you as more of a winning basketball player, which again will boost your bottom line. Dude, I'm with you. If I'm Jonathan Kuminga, I look at that Eastern Conference and I'm salivating, bro. It's insane.
Dude, like honestly, I mean, the reason why those players come west is because of the money.
Weather, maybe,
it's like a California. It's not California. It's a Pacific market. And that does matter money wise. That's why that's happening. Ain't nobody showing up to a game in, some of those places. But unless you're on the Celtics, and the Knicks, like, that's the issue out there. That's why it's so bad. I mean, those coaches are not trying, dude. Like we know like the combos those coaches are playing. And they're not, there's 3 leagues in this game. There's the East Coast, the West Coast regular season, and then there's the NBA playoffs. You gotta understand how each feed into each other over the course of a year. That's what I've learned in, watching this game for 40 years.
Aim, your thoughts?
Oh yeah. I don't know, but I have another question though. So y'all,
what were you doing there, man? Were you watching another show and forgot you were with us?
Nah, I was just listening though, but I was distracted. But I got another question. So y'all not into the Al Horford thing though? Like,
say again.
I don't know. I think it's pretty mid. I can't lie. I don't know.
What's mid? I missed the first part.
The Al Horford thing.
Look, it's again. Desi put a very positive spin on it. Armando, let me. I want to get a clear, because I'm not following you completely, Armando, on the Al Horford take. Do you think it's just a bad fit? Period. Like, even if, let's say, he doesn't show his age and he stays durable and doesn't get hurt, Armando, do you think Al Horford is just a bad signing? Period. Like, he's not going to contribute. What are your thoughts on Horford?
No, I think it's an improvement over Kevon Looney, for sure. And the last caller had a great point. I mean, if you're splitting minutes with a shooter with Quentin Post and Horford, that's a vast improvement over no gravity Kevon Looney, slow molasses Kevon Looney, whose man is standing in the way of Jonathan Kuminga. Nobody's guarding him. So I do think that's a vast improvement, and theoretically in a vacuum that should make a difference. My issue, the reason I've been harping on it on this show, is people are acting like that mid-level contract is some kind of light years play. It's just another example of them not squeezing a guy. Like, they're over here squeezing a guy, but they're overpaying 2 old guys where there was no market. This guy's threatening to retire if they don't pay him the mid-level. Let him retire. Let him. It ain't that much of an improvement. You got.
Yeah, like, I thought I still. To me, I forgot. I don't know. I'm drawing blank on his name. The guy who was with Toronto, was signed with the Celtics. Chris Boucher. I would have rolled with Boucher easily. Like, that to me was a slam dunk, perfect fit for the Warriors. And you could disagree with me with that, and I get it. This is all subjective, but yeah, Al Horford, man, look, 39. I'm with you, Armando, in that using your taxpayer mid-level exception on him is a little shoulder shruggy, right? Like, it's a little quizzical. A year ago, I remember when the Warriors spent their entire mid-level exception on DeAnthony Melton, and I felt the same way. I'm like, what are you doing spending $13 million on a 6'3" guard? Like, that's the last thing you need. And it blew up in their face because he got injured 6 games in. But good news is, though, now the good news part of it is DeAnthony Melton would have been an awesome addition if he had stayed healthy. And in the same way that the Warriors loved Melton and went out of their way to maybe overpay him last year, the fact that they're so in on Horford kind of encourages me a little bit, because usually when they get really excited about a free agent, it pans out. Typically, no guarantees, but But the 39 part is wild, man. And our newest Golden Days are in the chat. Adding, where'd you go, man? You should be sticking out to me because you're a Golden Dazer. Where did your words go? It was right here. Bobby Darris, congratulations, or not congratulations. Thank you for becoming a Golden Dazer. Well, no, this was not the comment I was referring to. He's criticizing Steve Kerr there. Here it is. He writes that Quentin Post is a 7-footer who shoots threes, but he doesn't actually post up. He doesn't rebound well. He doesn't shot block well. But if he improves this year, more power. And let's hope that improvement comes, because he did not play in summer league because I think of a foot injury or some sort of leg injury. Yeah, Quentin Post is going to be an interesting one, man. I don't know what to expect from him with a year under his belt. He's relatively old for a rookie. I think he turned 25 this season. We shall see, man. But Al Horford, again, 39. That's old. There's no way to spin that. Like none. Aim, you good?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But somebody in the chat said sign Bobo. We're not signing that palm tree. But so what was I about to say? What would be the starting lineup with Al Horford? Like, what would be the starting lineup?
I want to see basketball. We're gonna bring Aim, you good? Doing anything you want to tell us before the weekend?
No, I don't got nothing planned as of right now.
All right, chill. I love chilling. I'm about to watch
appreciate
some
you
Alien
for letting me up though.
What's up?
I said appreciate you for letting me up.
Of course, brother. Aim, you're phenomenal. You got this smoothest voice. I actually dropped you first instead of your mic drop. Normally, he drops the mic on us. Today, I did that on him. And let's finish up the show. I don't see Shardal rejoining us. Usually, I save that last spot for that one of a kind individual. James, you've got this spot. How you doing? You're back.
Good. My bad. My freaking connection.
It's okay. Why did you shut off your camera though? We did see you. It's too late for that. You might as well turn that thing back on and join us virtually face to face. There you go. Represent, man. Where you at? Where are you in this country that you're hiding out in your car?
Nah, I'm in Antioch, California.
Nice.
Yep,
representing the Bay Area. What's on your mind, man?
That's all right. No, I was just kind of gonna pick up what I said before my connection came out. Just like we really think Al Horford at 39 is gonna do something. He can help, but off that pick and roll and that switch against a guard open space, it's gonna get tricky. D'Anthony Melton off a fresh ACL, it's gonna be shaky. But the biggest thing, like Armando say, is loser ball, the small ball shit. And I'm gonna say this because I played basketball from my freshman year to senior year. And I'm 6'1", I'm now 6'2", but I was one of the tallest guys on the team. I'm playing power forward, I'm playing center against guys that's like 6'5", 6'6". And I tell you, there is not one thing harder in basketball than to play a dude that it's just physically impossible for you to match your will. And that's across the board. No matter how many points you score, what you can do, when it comes down to crunch time, that's all you're going to get beat by that.
James, I'm so glad you said that, because that's a point I bring up on this show all the time. Like, it's mind-blowing to me how much Steve Kerr diminishes size and its value in basketball of all sports. Like what are you doing here, man? Like, why is a 6'2" player your power forward? And never mind the fact that the optics of it look insane. Never mind the fact that what's actually happening on the court does represent reality, which is these guys are getting crushed. Dude, GP2, Moses Moody, whoever is playing that position out of position, they're not happy. Okay. No one likes doing that. I hated my coaches, man, putting me out of position like that, because you're not going to be successful, dude. Life sucks when you're out of position like that. You're 6'1", 6'2", playing center. I'm so glad you brought that up, dude, because it's never talked about enough. Small ball sucks. I hate it. Hate it, dude. I hate it when Don Nelson did that shit, and I cannot believe we're back to this shit again with Steve Kerr. It's madness. Sorry to interrupt you, man.
Bro, the most exhausting thing ever to do. And then another point, the guy that was talking about pods is a good defender or whatnot. Go back and watch that last game against the Clippers. Watch that game and see what James Harden did to him. Go back and look at the Minnesota series and look what Mike Conley did to him. Look at what Fred VanVleet did to him. Every guard, it does not stop. He's not a good defender, and that's the first domino effect.
And James, real quick, because Desi's in there saying that Warriors fans are hitting on small ball basketball that got us 4 rings. That shit did not get the Warriors
No,
4
no.
rings. There was
we
no
had
small
we had
ball,
6'7" and 6'8" across the board.
Dude, you're
big
exactly, man.
difference.
Like look at even the first championship, 2015. Harrison Barnes, 6'8". Draymond Green, who's in his 20s at that point, playing the small ball 5. Andre Iguodala, 6'6", 6'7". Klay Thompson, 6'7". Like, do not pretend those teams were small ball. Even the recent one, 2022, Otto Porter Jr., 6'8". Nemanja Bjelica, 6'8". Andre Iguodala is still playing minutes on that team, 6'7". Klay Thompson, 6'7". There is and now Brandon Pajemski, you're comparing that 6'3", 6'4". You're comparing GP2, 6'2". No. Desi, you got it way wrong on that one, man. That the Warriors small ball, maybe it was relatively speaking to the competition, but they had size out there, dude. They had athleticism. This current version, this is weak as F. I'll leave it there.
And no other team does it. We seem like we're the only team that thinks that's successful, and we have examples of it not being successful over and over and over again.
Yep.
I don't know. Exactly, I think this problem has been stemming since after we won the championship. The decisions we've made has led up to this point. Us not developing the guys, us picking the vets when even though they're wrong. Like Jordan Poole, we had the answer. We had the answer. We had Poole, Moody, Kuminga, Wiseman locked in. You could have still had Pods, just Pods, you'd be over there. But now we're 2025. Pods thinks he's one of the guys. Jimmy cannot score unless it's a free throw or a layup. Let's get that clear. So I don't know.
Armando's cousin, Andres Milian in the chat, adding that Brandon Pajemski is 6'5" with the hair because he has that haircut of the character from The Simpsons. Sideshow Bob, is that the guy's name? Whose hair is like almost identical to Brandon Pajemski? Yeah, so 6'5" with the hair. Brandon Pajemski, side note, wingspan of 6'6". That's not very good.
I want to add something about Pods that I thought I forgot about for this coming season that people need to think about. Pods is a made man. Like he is and he is coming up on a contract extension eligible year. So I want to know what's going to happen to the locker room chemistry when he's not getting the minutes and the feature that he wants. People really target Jonathan Kuminga for like having all-star aspirations. Pajemski this summer, after that playoff performance, said that he is going to be an all-star and an Olympian, and that's how he sees himself, and that's where he's trying to get to. And like,
did he say that?
Nobody bats an eye. That's
an Olympian is crazy.
And you know what though? What I'm saying is he's a made man. He actually might be on the Olympian. They might change the rules for that. If they change the age rules for who's on the Olympian team, call it the Pods rule. So I'm saying like they moved the 3-point line in for Steve Kerr. They're gonna do something with this young man because I've been at Warriors games. I've been lower bowl, and I've seen the attention this young man gets from fans of a certain ilk. And this man is playing a role for the money-making business. This is a made man. And so when Melton is brought in, when you got Moody sitting there, when you got Buddy Hield, you got Gary Payton, you got all these things, what is the chemistry from Pods going to be like next year? That's when I think about bad chemistry next year, it ain't Kuminga that I'm worried about.
Do you guys know? I don't know if I ever brought this up on the show. I feel like enough time has passed, and if I've already did, forgive me. But Brandon Pajemski was contemplating a trade request last November. True story, dude. He was so unhappy. He was so unhappy with his role. Like behind the scenes, he was pissed. And part of it was he is close with Kuminga. Like him and Kuminga are friends, so he was kind of like going in that vein. Like if you're gonna mistreat him, I feel mistreated. Like he wanted to kind of bail with Kuminga. There was a brief moment where he was feeling like that, and I have no idea why that emotional tumult got quelled. I have no clue why he calmed down. But Pajemski does have confidence, man.
Pods asked out of a game 3 times last year.
Did he really?
The media talked about it.
I remember that.
The most egregious time was when Luka laughed at him in the corner again. You remember that? And it's just like looking at him like, are you gonna shoot it or what are you gonna do? He literally asked out the game, and he didn't. We didn't see him for months. And then they kept changing the injury report, and then they were like, we're teaching him how to run again. Like, man, shut up. And then if you look in November, he asked out the game again because Melton was getting minutes. That fucking happened, dude. And like they were like, oh, it was a stomach bug. And then Marcus Thompson, people think I make this stuff up, but they just don't have memories or they're not following close along. He made a report that Pods had to go see a shrink at UC Berkeley to get his head on right. And they were all making excuses for him, and like, and on my favorite part of the playoffs last year was game 2 against Minnesota when they did not start Kuminga even though Steph was out. They started Buddy, Pods lineup, and they were down 0 for 13 in the first 5 minutes of that game. And then everybody blames Kuminga for not winning that game, even though he was 9 for 9. But they started this lineup, and it was all connector, Pods, Chuck 3. And he was missing so much, dude. I've never seen a worse. I'm like, dude, this guy's not going to shoot well in the playoffs. That's what happened. The last game, when Minnesota wasn't trying, he actually made some shots, but you could tell Minnesota was not trying. And at the halftime, dude, like Kerr's and the players like, it's okay, mijo, it'll be okay. Just keep shooting. It's all good. Like brick. That's like how I talk to my nephews when they're brick, dude. Like this is the NBA, dude. So like, what is going to happen next year when this dude is fighting 4 minutes against Melton, etc.? Like, you feel me?
I do. Training camp is in 10 days. That's 10 days away from training camp. That's where we are. The Warriors have 9 players signed. James, I can't thank you. The audience tonight was awesome, dude. James, thank you, man. You finished it beautifully. Any final thoughts before we let you go and wrap up the show?
Nope. All I got to say, if I turn on my TV for the first game of the season and I see Pods as my starting shooting guard, I'm turning it off. I'm done. I can't take it.
Make sure you join us after the game, though, right? Please.
For sure.
You were
Thank
awesome,
you for having me, guys.
Back. You're representing Antioch proudly. So, yeah, come back and rep Antioch again. And every small ball player out there who is just frustrated with the coach who has no effing idea what they're doing, man. I literally, dude, James, I don't know if you agree with this sentiment or not. And this might be a controversial take, but people just seem to defer, like, just blindly to anybody that has a title of coach, right? Like, everyone just assumes, oh, he's a coach. He must be an amazing person. He must know what he's doing. He must have his players in mind above everything else. Bull effing shit, man. Most coaches I've experienced in life get to these positions through either, again, just like anything else, right? Either with nepotism, kissing the right asses. A lot of these people just hate getting away from the game, so they find whatever reason they can to coach and stay around the sport. My point is, dude, like, there's a lot of shitty coaches out there. Like, not every coach is just automatically amazing. And coaches who play their players out of position because in their mind they think they're seeing something no one else does. Get the hell out of here, dude. Just like, what are you doing? I don't blindly trust coaches is what I'm trying to say. Just because you have that title does not mean that you're automatically like some good person who's nurturing and mentoring young people effectively, man. And James, maybe your experience was totally off from what I'm saying. I don't know if you have any sentiments you want to add to that, but that's my take.
No, I mean, because I told him, I'm like, Coach, we're getting killed on the boards. It's only so much I can do, but every game we kept rolling with it. And we had other 2 bigs on the team. I guess he just wanted, offensively just for us, 5 out or whatnot. But it doesn't equal nothing good. You get beat on the boards. You get beat inside. It's a layup line against the Warriors every game. People come in working on their layup package, trying shit, right hand, left hand, 360. It's free. It's free will out there against them.
And you're actually bringing up what I've been trying to say, and you put it nicely. The fatigue level when you're playing against someone that you're not supposed to be guarding, like that's what I keep telling y'all. There's a reason why these good shooters struggle to shoot threes on the Warriors, because they're being played out of position. Everybody's like, how come suddenly Moses Moody can't shoot threes? Because he's fucking playing power forward. And he's like boxing out dudes that got 60 pounds on him. What like it looks good sometimes because you're a good player, you're an NBA player, and you could kind of beat your man sometimes and D up sometimes. But as it progresses and you're playing 30 minutes against somebody that you should not be playing against, it catches up to you.
Yep.
So you're going 110% in the regular season, and then when the other team also goes 110% in the playoffs, then you can't match that. So there's people talk about GP2 getting hurt all the time. Kuminga getting hurt, dude. Kuminga's guarding Triple J. He twisted his ankle trying to box out Triple J. Well, when Pods let the guy blow by him, dude, it's
the most basic physics, right? And again, when you're 6'7" is a big boy. I know the Warriors in their championship years, I think that was the average height of their starting lineup. So it was 6'6", 6'7". It ain't 6'6", 6'7" now, but 6'7" is a big boy, regardless of what level you're playing at. But it's basic physics, man. When you're 6'1", 6'2", and you're fighting someone who's 6'5", 6'6", it doesn't matter how effective your box out technique is. All they got to do is just reach over you. They just reach over you. Oh, you're defending someone who's 4 or 5 inches taller than you? You could be the strongest mother effer out there. Brandon Pajemski, case in point, right? He's got a really strong core and he's got leg muscles. And so it's going to be hard for someone to back him down. But, oh, well, I guess I'll just hook it over him. I guess I'll just shoot with no impediment because this guy's smaller than me. It is the most basic physics. And Steve Kerr, for whatever reason, thinks speed is going to carries more value than height and size. It's crazy, man. It's insane. I'm with you in terms of these lineups these past couple of seasons, dude. What are you doing with 4? It's not just 3 guards, Armando. There's 4 guard lineups out there. Your boy Andrew Wiggins, who you love, some of the last games he was playing was at the power forward position. Wiggins was a guard at Kansas. He was a guard in Minnesota. That's his position. But in Steve Kerr's eyes, oh, dude, we got an advantage on the other team, guys. Look, Andrew, if we play you at the power forward position, you're going to be faster than the other guys. So that's a huge advantage. Yeah, until your speed until you can't take advantage of the speed factor and you're forced to play, a half-court game, you're effed at that point. And like you said as well, the energy factor, it takes energy to battle bigger people than you. It's none of this makes sense. And so that's why when I see people just defending Kerr, it's why? I mean, this stuff is madness, dude. James, you were awesome, brother. Come back, please. All right.
Thank you, man. See you guys next time.
Thank you. Have a great. What are you doing real quick before you go? Antioch. What's going on Friday night in Antioch, man? Antioch used to be a very, it was seedy, dude. There was a shady town. When I grew up, when I went to high school in San Ramon, we weren't going out of our way to go visit Antioch because we knew that was. But also everything's changed, right? The Bay Area is night and day from what it used to be. Is Antioch a safe, suburban type scene now? What's Antioch like in 2025?
It's a lot more homes being built in that area. A lot more just plazas and schools and stuff. So it's better, but it's it still got its problems like every other city.
I remember Petaluma, like that. It was just a town of meth heads, and now Petaluma is wine country. Dude, the Bay Area has totally changed, man. James, thank you. Come back, please. You and everyone else were awesome today. Armando, any final thoughts as we wrap it up here on a Friday evening?
That was fun, man. I'm enjoying the Friday nights. I appreciate even the folks that disagree with me, because y'all been disagreeing with me for months, and there's plenty of podcasts for you guys to listen to. Go listen to Light Years. Go listen to
no, don't do that.
Dude, I'm just saying there's plenty, and I appreciate you guys still coming back because it's fun. And
it's fun having you, man.
Yep.
This is a good weekly segment we're doing here. And look, when the season starts, if there's going to be a game on Friday nights, we'll just, provided you're available, we'll come on right after the games because we're going to be live for every post-game show. But the Friday happy hour, it's so far so good, brother. I'm liking it. What are you doing this weekend, man? I mean, you're just like everyone else.
Oh no, man! I was telling you guys, I got cut out, but there's a big car show in the Mission, and it's going to be fun. There's going to be thousands. It's actually going to be aired. It's going to be the first lowrider show aired on the news. They're going to air the parade. That's the first time ever. So it's kind of a big deal.
Very cool.
They're closing down the street. Go down there. It's going to be like from noon to 6 or something like that on Mission Street. So it'll be a fun time.
Good stuff, man. We'll have fun. I know you're a car aficionado. People can follow you again on social media at Mando_man10. You're on Threads primarily. I think you're on Instagram. Are you on Twitter, or is that too big of a cesspool for you? I don't blame you.
No, I left Twitter.
Yeah. I know it's bad, dude. It's 4chan. I don't know if you folks remember 4chan. It used to be like considered to be the most toxic scene online, right? Like it's where everyone went just to espouse racism, sexism, like nothing was off limits. And Twitter's like that now. It's insane to me that the Apple Store just and the Google Store is just keep letting people use it because it violates like every norm and every rule that I thought these companies were applying. But nonetheless,
I mean,
I know you rule, brother. Thank you.
I just tweet into the Threads void. Ain't nobody follows me. Nobody listens to me. I'm just a dude.
You've got some. It's growing too.
I got
it's
haters.
growing.
People love hating on me on there. It's fun.
I'm guessing the reason why is because you're not pro Warriors with every one of your posts, right? Like you're not pro Kerr with every one of your posts. That's always going to get
Steph Curry winning a 5th title and being properly recognized as a top 5 player of all time. That's what I've been pro, and I'll continue to do that. And right now, that is not, he is not seeing what it is. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. And and look, that bigger picture, that I think you represented the show perfectly. We are pro Steph on this program just because the dude epitomizes greatness. Like everything the Warriors have accomplished starts with him, and then it trickles down. You could credit a whole bunch of other people, but without Steph, none of this is happening. So he epitomizes. Did you see that picture of him, by the way, totally yoked out?
No, I didn't see that.
It was on social media. Like Steph's put some muscle on him. I hope that doesn't negatively affect the lower extremities, meaning you could be yoked up as you could be the most jacked up person on the planet, but that's not going to save your hamstrings, right? That's not going to like prevent a calf injury. So I hope that the work he has put into his upper body, because again, he looks strong, and something tells me Steph is also working on the legs as well in terms of the muscles and fortifying all the ligaments and the tendons and whatnot, so injuries don't become a thing. But season's almost here. 9 players on the roster. It's madness. We're having fun Friday nights. Are we good?
I wanted to plug that. I think I watched the game a little bit different than a lot of fans, and I actually need your help figuring out, because I want to do a live broadcast with me and my cousins, and
I will help you set that up, man. I think there's an application called Playback that allows people to do such a thing. I'm there for you, man, and we'll promote it obviously if you decide to launch that. Have you seen Alien Earth before we go, the newest episode?
I did not see this last week's, but I've seen all the previous ones for sure. I'm
going to go watch that right now. That is, if you have not watched that show, I think it's on Hulu or FX or something. It's so good, man. Like it's better than all the movies, except for maybe Aliens. I'm sure some old school people will defend the original, but Aliens, the James Cameron version, that is peak, like of the franchise. That to me is the top of the mountain. But this show, man, bravo.
Dude,
yeah.
Actually, if you guys want a legitimate storytelling in the Aliens universe to have fun with like more of the same but different, play the board game called Nemesis. It is a direct ripoff of the Aliens franchise, but it's literally like you play that game, you're like making a movie with your friends. It's so much fun. Like check that out if you're into board games and you want to, crack a beer with some buddies. It'll be good.
Good stuff. And check out again Armando Lara on Threads at Mando_man10. Subscribe to the program, please. Hit that like button. People tell me that matters. Thank you, everybody. And we're back at this soon. Again, if the Kuminga signing happens this weekend, we're going live immediately, right? Like we've been on standby for that for months. Otherwise, we're back Monday at the latest with a new V for Valkyries. And training camp's 10 days. That is insanity. That is some wild shit. On one hand, I'm exalted that we're this close to basketball. On the other hand, I'm looking at the Warriors and just thinking, what the F is going on here, man? 9 players. Like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? We shall see. They keep things interesting, right? At a bare minimum. They keep you on your toes, brother.
I can't wait for this season, dude. I can't wait. I can't wait for what dumpster fire, where the path the fire is going to go. I can't wait. This is going to be hella fun. I'm really looking forward to this season.
Stay tuned, man. We'll be back at this soon. Thanks, everybody. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thanks, everybody. And we're back at this soon. Bye-bye.